everyone, welcome back to WIP Wednesday. I haven't done a WIP Wednesday. Oh gosh, have I even done one in 2023? And if I did, I know I didn't do a whole bunch. Last year I kind of put WIP Wednesdays on hold for a few reasons. I was too busy to sit down and do them. Because not a lot of people watch them. It's more so, I don't know, I guess the people who want to know what's going on in the background kind of thing. And so I was kind of saving all my video energy, I guess we'll call it that, for tutorials and reviews and all that good stuff. But I thought I would bring it back, because quite a few of you have asked, where they went and if I was going to continue with them. And so I thought, well, it's better than never. But the other reason I kind of had a hard time bringing them back or working on them in general is just things have been really rough around here for me. So, I mean, on all fronts, all sorts of fronts. But like right now, and since last year, my full-time job, which no is not my channel. I wish it was though. Anyone wanna pay my salary so I can just do this all the time? I'll give you 20 videos a day. But yeah, my full-time job, things have been really slowing down. And we were hoping it was like end of year, companies closing for the holidays, because that's normal. But even before then, things were a little slower than we would have liked. And unfortunately, it has not gotten better. And it's been pretty stressful because I am the breadwinner of our house. And so if I lose my job, well, yeah, that's not going to be good for us. So I even told my husband, I was like, okay, well, my paycheck is literally twice what yours is, every 2 weeks. So we need to figure something out and just start planning just in case, and just kind of see where it goes, So for those of you new to my WIP Wednesdays or new to my channel, hi, welcome. Probably not the best WIP Wednesday to start at, but whatever. It's all right. But yeah, it's I work for a content agency, and unfortunately, the amazing tools like GPT and all those AI tools are starting to really impact our agency. We have human writers, not robots. And believe it or not, there is a big quality difference. I'm not just saying that to boast my business. It really, AI cannot mimic human writing. Sorry, Google. However, it is impacting our business. And I'm just every day waking up so stressed and not sure what to do, because I like my job. I love being able to work from home. I have my new bosses ever since they bought it. It's been over a year now, but they're awesome. I love working with them. It's the perfect job for a mom with 3 kids, wife of a firefighter. Because it's just my job is flexible. I got a kid who's sick. It's all right. I work from home. Doesn't matter. Kid needs to go get their braces adjusted in the middle of the day. Oops. How did I mix those up? I was like, why is this looking not right? I can do it. So very flexible, works around all my kids' sports. And so, yeah. It would just be so weird to lose that because it's something I've just been so used to over the last few years. Working from home and just having that flexibility. But yeah, I don't know. Like, so it's really stressful because you just don't know what the future holds, you know? And like every day we have a client that's like, either they've lost a client, so that's one less thing they can send to us, or we'll have a client that's just like, hey, my business is closing, things are too slow. And so it's like every time I see those emails, I'm just like, oh, not again. But yeah, it's like every day is stressful. I wake up just defeated in the morning. And just the idea of looking for another job. I've worked from home now, not just in this job. I have other jobs too, but I've worked from home now for, oh gosh, 14 years. Just a long time. So I can't even imagine like working outside of the home to start with, but also just to be, I'm not, what's the word? I'm basically socially inept. Yeah, I get like major social anxiety. I turn super bright red if someone just looks at me funny or normally. I run a YouTube channel, but you guys don't see my face. You see my hands. But yeah, I do not do well socially. So, if I have to get a job outside of the house, that's gonna be rough. That's for sure. So that's been stressing me out. And, you know, also just, am I gonna find a job that's paying me what close to what I get now? Because, I mean, right now, like I said, I am definitely the breadwinner. So yeah, I've been stressed about work. And then, oh, by the way, I am working on this new Hannah Lynn image printed on my hammer mill paper using Ohuhus. I was going to do it as like a little color along, and then that just didn't happen. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, so it's just been stressful, and every day I'm just like, I just don't know how it's going to go. And like, there's nothing worse than like constantly looking and being like, did we get an order today? You know what I mean? Like, that's not how you want to go through life at work. Did we earn any money today? So I'm not going to get laid off. That's just a stressful way. Not that my bosses have by any means told me I'm at risk of being laid off or anything like that, but you know, it's a reality. So yeah, I've just been stressed with that. And then, you know, my husband is a firefighter, so he's gone 48 hours every few days, but also fire academy kicked back up, so he's been busy teaching, which is great because we may need the money, but at the same time, things have also gotten busier because my daughters both wanted to start sports, and my son's in comp soccer, which if any parent watching has a kid in a competition league, you know, you basically have no life. Like, that is all you do. And in the winter, which is their off season, so I'm kind of baffled on this, but they're playing futsal and indoor soccer. So 2 different leagues plus practices. So I have like no time as it is. And then now my 10-year-old is in ballet. She's been asking and asking to do ballet. And so finally I was like, you know what? You've asked enough times. I'll put you in it. She's notorious for quitting sports. So I waited and waited for her to like stick to her guns. And then my youngest has been asking to do gymnastics. So she's in gymnastics. And then, you know, if my husband's on duty, I'm driving them to all of these places. Heck, just yesterday, my son had a game that got out right as my daughter has to leave the house to get to ballet. And in ballet, they're very strict with the time. And like, one of their requirements to even get into pre-point, that's basically where they start preparing you for the point shoes, you know, the shoes the advanced ballerinas wear, is excellent attendance and timeliness. They're really strict. I don't mind it though. I love it. I have OCD. If I'm late by even 2 seconds, I'm like, I failed the world. So it's great that they like kind of build that mindset in the girls, you know, discipline. Like if you're supposed to be somewhere at 6, you show up at 6. So I'm not complaining there. However, you know, when my husband's on duty, and then we got stuck behind a train, I was like so stressed because I was like, oh my gosh, I've got one kid in her full ballet outfit, and because it's winter, you know, she's got tights, leg warmers, and you know, another kid all cranky because his soccer game didn't go well. Another kid screaming in the back of the car. She's 6, by the way. Doesn't need to be screaming, but she was getting hungry. The hanger was setting in. It's just chaos. And then, because my life isn't crazy enough, I adopted a 4th Husky. Yes, you heard that right. 4th. For those of you who have been around for a while, you know, I originally just had the one Husky, and she's a hoot. Scout, she's our channel mascot, because when I first moved into this house a couple years ago, she enjoyed running down the stairs and then at about midway just flying and making loud thuds, and that would be picked up on camera. So it was pretty funny. Then we got Akira, not last year, but the year before that. And then last year we got Indy. And then I was just, I don't know, I have a soft spot for Huskies because Huskies are one of those breeds that get abandoned all the time because people just don't know what they're getting into. I know what I'm getting into. You gotta research the breed. Huskies, I almost get upset when people share the funny reels of Huskies on Instagram because they're showing the fun, like, cute side of Huskies, but it's not the reality. Like, seriously, those funny videos where they're talking or doing something funny is like 5% of Husky ownership. So they're high maintenance, very, very stubborn, very difficult to train, very. If they don't want to do it, they're not gonna do it. Very smart, highly intelligent, love to run away. So if you're getting a Husky, please invest in GPS and microchip your dog. Both of those. All my Huskies are on GPS, so when they leave the fence line, I have GPS that takes me right to wherever they've wandered off to so that I can retrieve them. But it's not cheap. Now 3 of my Huskies are all trained now, so they don't run away anymore. But it took a while to get them to that point. And so I've been checking the animal shelters for abandoned Huskies because, like I said, people get them because they think they're like funny and whatnot. And then they realize how much exercise they require, how much mental exercise they require, and physical. Huskies are, they're high maintenance, I'm telling you. The grooming, the hair, the food, the talking back. Yes, you tell your Husky something they don't want to do, they will talk back to you like a child. Basically, you have a very snarky teenage daughter. Well, I say daughter because all mine are female. But I just have a soft spot in my heart for those Huskies that get abandoned. And so I was checking the shelters and I saw this one there. She had been there since 2 days after Christmas. And she was a stray, so no one knows much about her. They kind of had to guess her age. They guessed she was probably about 4 years old, which would actually make her older than all my Huskies. You know, they renamed her because obviously they didn't know her name. And, yeah, so no one knows how long she was out on the streets either. Huskies are pretty resourceful. They can get around and survive just fine. So I kept an eye on her, and my cousin works at the shelter. And so I was like, hey, you know, how's her temperament? Because that's a big thing. I have kids. Otherwise, I would take one that needs major rehabilitation. But because I have kids and their friends over, I just can't risk the liability. Akira, my husky, needed rehabilitation because she was abused and she was very aggressive towards males. But I made an exception for her because the only males in my house are my husband and my son. So I was like, well, she's not going to eat my daughters and their little friends, so it's fine. Isn't that awful? But also my son is training as a dog trainer. He works for a dog trainer, so he was more than prepared, sort of. But yeah, so all reports were that she was really good. And then I was like, okay, well, if she's still there, I'll come check her out, spend some time with her, see what she's like. And it's funny, the day before I was going to go out there, a guy went to adopt her, and she got loose from her collar. Y'all, I'm telling you, huskies are like rats. They can just like contort and like fit through holes that, yeah. I've seen my huskies do it. So she slipped the leash and ran away, took the shelter like 45 minutes to find her. And the guy was like, yeah, no, I'm not adopting her. And I just laughed because I was like, well, he clearly didn't know what a husky is. How many times mine have run away from me? I once spent 6 hours hunting down Indy because Indy is smart enough and knows when her GPS isn't on and it's charging, and that's when she'll run away. Little stinker. Yeah, literally 6 hours looking for that dog. So I laughed because had it been me, I would have just laughed and still taken her home. So I was like, but they obviously didn't know what they were getting into. So I was really thankful that they didn't adopt her because I was like, wow, if you can't handle that, you are not going to be able to handle all the other husky fun. So I went and checked her out, and her name's Harper, in case I didn't mention that. And she had a great spirit, but she's very timid. Sudden movements, she'll dart, but she's not aggressive. I tested, I reached for her, which is brave at a shelter. But I reached for her because I needed to see if she was going to attack when she's, retreating. And she didn't. It's just she's timid and scared. And shelters are very stressful for any dog. Not just huskies, any dog. I mean, it's loud. They're in kennels. They don't get a ton of attention. I mean, it's just... There were so many huskies in that animal shelter. It broke my heart how many they had there. A lot of them were males, and I can't take a male because our pack leader, Scout, is female, so I cannot take on a male. So that's one problem. But they had so many, and I was so heartbroken. So I talked to my dog trainer, and I asked if he was willing to take on an apprentice. We have a dog trainer because, like I said, huskies are very hard to train. And dog training is an art. You can't just watch a video and be like, I'm going to train my dog. At least not a husky. And so he's going to teach me. Hi, Jets. There you are again. He's going to teach me how to train. And not to take business from him, but I want to open a husky shelter, and I talked to my cousin who works at the animal shelter, and she said that would be great. But basically what I'm going to do is grab huskies from the shelter. The shelter will also, once this is all incorporated, which will be 2 years from now, because first I got to learn how to train, which, like I said, is an art, and that takes several years on its own. But what I'm going to do is set up a husky rescue. I'll take in strays. I'll take in ones that people want to abandon. They bring them to me. I'll never put them down. Harper, the one we ended up getting, she had 2 weeks left and she was going to be put down because shelters just don't have the space. And that just kills me because when I walked away seeing all those huskies in there, I was thinking oh my gosh, what if tomorrow is that husky's day? You know what I mean? It made me sick to my stomach, to be honest. I wanted to leave with as many as I could, but I couldn't. But yeah, I'll take all sorts, even those that need rehabilitation. I'm going to train them so that a lot of those turnoffs that make people abandon their Huskies are no longer there. And then I don't want to use the word sell them because I don't want it to be like I'm selling these dogs. But I am going to offer them for a package price, but they will be 100% trained, obedient, off leash, like my 3 Huskies. My 3 Huskies went through training and they're off leash. They don't run away anymore. The leash, I only put the leash on for looks. They don't need it. But that will help, and lessen the number of Huskies that get abandoned because these ones will be trained. But I also plan to instill contracts. So if that person does not want that Husky anymore, they legally have to return the Husky to me and I find a home. And I'm not going to just sell the dog to whoever has the highest bid or anything like that. I will actually select the owner. So if I end up with like 40 Huskies in my backyard, I have 40 Huskies in my backyard. I don't care. They'll all get love and attention. But also, the reason I bring this up is because I may be jobless. Perhaps this will be a fallback. But yeah, I don't know. So that was a really long backstory into how I got our latest Husky, wasn't it? But yeah, so I've been definitely stressed about work, and just what I'm gonna do. I've been like toying with the idea because I always told myself when the kids were in school all day, which they are now because my youngest is finally all day, I would work on my novel. And that was always the plan. But then I got the job I have now and it's a little more, demanding on my time. And back then I was just a freelance writer, so I kind of had more control over my schedule. But I've been thinking that I really do want to start working on my novel again. I have a manuscript for my first draft. First draft is hideous and ugly. Anyone who's ever written a novel would tell you that. They're ugly, horrible. Don't read it. I kind of glanced at it the other day and I was like, oh, no, I'm tearing it apart. I don't like this anymore. So I'm going to be removing quite a bit and rehashing it, but that's the whole artistry behind it. So I'm going to try and find time to work on my novel. Am I doing this and thinking I'll be published and sell 1 million copies? No. I'll be happy if I sell like 5. But it's always been a dream. I am a writer. Like I said, I used to be a freelance writer. And no, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I am naturally talented at writing. I wrote my first novel at 13. I still have it. I wrote it on a typewriter because my mom bought me a typewriter. I still have the typewriter, by the way. But yeah, I wrote my first little mystery novel at 13. It's awful now. Oh my gosh. But I've always loved writing. It's almost like it's been like a calling of mine. I don't know. But yeah, so I want to find time to do that. But that is the key word, time. Where do you find time, right? You got a full-time job. You got 4 Huskies. Well, I got 4 Huskies. You probably don't, but 3 kids all in sports now because, well, why not? A YouTube channel, which I love doing, by the way, so don't take that as a negative. Like I said, I would do this full-time if I could, but I've got my YouTube channel. I want to be able to do art and color and diamond paint, but I also need to be able to clean my house, do laundry, all those adulting tasks that no one wants to do, and your kids just don't do it right, so you can't trust them to do it. So yeah, it's like I'm trying to figure out where am I going to fit this in, and then also just like plan out everything else. One thing that is like really getting to me as of late is my weight gain. Like I have gained a ridiculous amount of weight. And like by ridiculous, I mean like 70 pounds. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm on, and well, commonly known as antidepressants. However, I take it because I have a panic attack disorder and I suffer from OCD. If you don't know what OCD is, no, I don't flick on the light switch 50 times. That's a different type of OCD. There's multiple kinds, but that's for another day. And I had read that the particular one I was on is notorious for extreme weight gain. And I also just don't feel like it's been working anyway. So I'm like, well, okay, if I'm gaining a lot of weight, granted, I started gaining weight in like COVID days, you know, all of us did, sitting there doing nothing. Except if you were one of those few that like worked out every day at home. Why could I not have been one of you? Why? There's some people that came out of COVID ripped, and I was not that person. But yeah, I mean, so it's not all the medication, but the medication is definitely exacerbating. Wow, I don't know. Making it worse. So I'm coming off of that medication. Don't know what I'm going to do after that. I see a therapist, and we've been using cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, to try and help me with just my OCD and see if we can manage it in a different way. But I have gained a lot of weight, and I've been trying to lose it. So I've been like eating better because, well, I'm a stress eater. So if I'm stressed, I'm going to eat a brownie and not a banana. I'm just going to keep it real with you right there. I should make brownies with bananas. Then that would be healthy. Just a side thought, but it is definitely something I am struggling with weight-wise. Now our gym is almost done downstairs. I got a treadmill for Christmas that I bought for myself. Is that a leaf or a berry? I'm going to make it a leaf. No, it's a berry. But it looks dumb with a berry right there. She got a berry in her hands. A berry. Okay, fine. It's going to be a berry. Whatever. You win. But yeah, I need to get in shape, and our gym is coming along. But the problem is I can't add to our gym because I don't know what my job situation is. The story of my life right now. And I'm sure quite a few of you are probably going through the same issue with jobs. I know a lot of companies are laying off because times are slow. I don't want to say it's the economy being slow, because like I know for a fact why our business is slow. It's AI, not the economy itself. So that's where we're getting hit. But I know there's been, a lot of people still struggling to get jobs or keep their current job. But yeah, it's just like there's some days I sit there and go, it'd be great. I just quit my job, sell my house. We have enough equity to where I could go buy something a lot smaller, nothing like the house I own right now, not even close. I could go buy a nice small little thing in cash, so I would have no mortgage, and then I could just work as a professional writer, work on my YouTube and all that, and be happy. But you know what? That is not reality. I can't do that. So I have to find a way to make things work. I'm going to try to use some of these new colors. But a girl can dream, right? I think I'm going to do these blackberries. I think I'm going to make them blackberries. Okay, so let me just find these. R350. Perfect. Do I want to go with a purple? No, I want to do this RV250, that peony color. These ones are the new 104 set that make up the 320 total colors. Side note, if you know of anyone who has made a 320 chart, let me know in the comments below, because I'm too lazy to make it. I had plans and then I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So I went to start it and I was like, yeah, this ain't happening. But I would love if someone had them in color family order. So yeah, and then I've just been in an overall rut with filming, with everything. I know I've missed quite a few live streams, and it's just because life, you know, I'm very stressed outside of the camera. I'm stressed about my weight. I really want to lose weight because I do not want my kids to, like, I am so out of shape. Like, I can't even, like, go do stuff outside without, like, huffing and puffing. That's not good. You know, and I used to be very fit. Saw a picture of freaking Facebook memories. Way to rub it in. But I saw a picture of myself just 4 years ago, and yeah. Saw that and I was like, oh, oof. Like, I could not believe how much I've gained in comparison to that picture. But for my health too, I've been starting to have health issues because of my weight gain. And then my stress has also started increasing my resting heart rate. So the doctor's trying to work on that, and that's partially because I'm overweight. And in fact, I am classified as obese because of how overweight I am, considering how small I am. But my resting heart rate is high 90s to low 100s. That's not a healthy resting heart rate. Oops, let me hit my camera. I should have, you know, it elevated like that when I, like, walk up the stairs for a bit. And, you know, work out, maybe get into those healthy 120s. But when I work out, my heart rate jumps into the 150s and I have to stop so I don't die. So yeah, I've just been depressed about that, and just, like, clothes don't fit. So I just feel like uncomfortable in my own skin. You know what that's like? Just anything you wear, you're not comfortable. You're just uncomfortable. You feel awkward, and yeah. And then, of course, you know, you have to throw yourself a pity party. That's what I do. And it's just, yeah. So it's been really hard to, like, hop on stream because there's just some weekends where I'm just kind of staring there going, okay, you know, because I stream on Sunday. What's Monday going to be for me? Am I going to have a job Monday? Is business going to shut down? You know, like, I'm in this wacky position. Do I look for a job? Do I stay on the ship? Like, what do I do? I mean, I've been looking, but there's nothing that pays the same. And if I take those, like, my kids, yeah, I don't know how it's going to work out. But yeah, it's just, it's stressful. And I'm not sitting here like, woe is me, and only I have problems. I know people have even worse problems than me, for sure. I'm just sharing why I'm in a rut. But yeah, I'm just trying to find a way out of this rut, whether it's coloring or diamond painting. And I'm also, like, stressed out that I have not finished this flippin' diamond painting that I started in December. And I keep buying diamond paintings, and I'm like, why did I buy that? Like, I haven't even finished, like, I don't know, the 50 in my closet. But it was cute, and I just had to have it. Or it was a special limited edition, whatever they get you to buy things with. But I'm, like, getting annoyed because I have this Mystic Art Mirrors one that I'm like, I need to finish this. And it's kind of like a coloring page where you're like, I'm so over it, but I need to finish it because I've spent 2 months, like, on it or something, you know? That's kind of where I am right now. Like, I've spent too much time. It must be done. So, yeah, I've got that diamond painting I'm trying to finish, and I work on a few squares here and there, but, ugh. So, yeah, I'm basically just trying to get it together. I do want to show you these berries though. I really like this blackberry combo. Now it's probably for you guys. Yeah. Right now it looks like a solid flat color, and that's because of the ambient lighting coming through. I'm filming like in the afternoon, which I normally don't do. It is dark, but you can see, and it's wet too, so I need it to dry, but you can see like this nice peony red coming through, and the dark, it's actually really pretty. Once this dries, because it's still damp, once it dries, that's gonna look lovely and luscious. But yeah, if you're curious what that combo is, it's from that new 104 set. Unless you bought the 320 brush set, then you have that already as well. So it's R350 dark purple gray. Wow, it's not even focusing. And then RV250 peony. It's very pretty. I might even put that on her lips. We'll see. But I think what I'll do is leave it here. I feel like I'm rambling. But yeah, so just be patient with me. I'm really trying to just get it together and find myself, if you will. I absolutely love making videos. Like I said, I would do it full time if I could, but just not feasible. But yeah, I love it. I love making my videos. I love to paint. I'm trying to just figure out how to fit everything in all well, hoping my job stays there. And deal with 3 kids in sports. Oh, I'm so glad my son gets his license soonish. He gets his permit this year, which is just a scary thought. But at the same time, I'm like, at least you can drive to all these practices and just, help me out a bit. But yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. So again, thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully you were coloring while listening to this, because WIP Wednesday is not meant to teach you much of anything. It's just me chatting about what's going on. I would totally get pictures of the new puppers, but she is at the groomer right now. I dropped her off at the groomer. We had bathed her from the shelter because, oh my gosh, she stunk. But whoever had her before us, or she's been astray since this summer, her summer coat was still on, so it was never pulled out. Huskies have a really weird fur cycle, but it wasn't pulled out, so I had to take her to my groomer. And I dropped her off, and my groomer was like, oh my gosh, you could just see that summer coat like popping, like you could just see the clumps. You'd grab them and just huge clumps of fur come out. The problem is, because whoever had her didn't pull that summer coat, her full winter coat has not come in, so she's not as warm out there in the snow as my other Huskies. And that's why I had to go get her groomed, and so yeah, she's not here for me to take a video of. But maybe next week's WIP Wednesday, I will show you all the Huskies again. I know you guys all know Scout, well, those who have been around for a while. But maybe I'll start it off like with a little high from the Huskies. And I'm not guaranteeing I won't buy any more. I shouldn't even say buy. I didn't really buy her. I adopted her from the shelter. I had to pay $25, but that actually goes to them for helping support them. Although I would have paid them $500 if I could. Just, yeah. And like I said, I would have taken all of them sitting there. So if you have a local shelter and you have room in your home, please just go check out those dogs that need to be adopted. I'm not saying grab a Husky. If you're going to grab a Husky, come talk to me first. Do your homework. Because, yeah, Huskies are... yeah, they're their own breed, and I don't recommend them for most people. But yeah, just go check out your local animal shelter, because not all those shelter dogs are bad or anything wrong with them. They were just abandoned. Like Harper that we just got, the sweetest thing in the world, absolutely sweet. And it's just tragic to know that someone just let her go. Because she's a really good dog. And I'm like, what on earth? great with my kids too. Normally when we rescue a dog, like we rescued Akira, I don't necessarily let my kids go near them at first, but I could tell instantly that this dog was different, just by her behavior. She comes up when she's ready to and gives you kisses and cuddles, and I am just completely heartbroken knowing that there was a dog like that about to be put down, and there's more dogs like that in the shelter. So yeah, I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to stop at 4 because, well, no, I'm not. Technically, you need 8 for a full sled team, so I'm not really, I don't have too many. I also don't live in the Antarctic or Alaska, but whatever. I take good care of my Huskies. They are spoiled more than my children, and definitely more than myself. So anyway, that was a long rant. But yeah, check out your local shelter, and if you can't adopt, just donate. They always need donations, or volunteer. You can actually be a dog walker for them. So just some ideas to throw out there. But thank you everyone for hanging out, joining me for my first WIP Wednesday in who knows how long. Apologies for, it not being a super peppy, life is great one, but that this is just reality. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. And I will leave links in the description below to Hannah Lynn's new book if you want to get it. And yeah, until next time, take care. Bye now.